So Tesla stock is hovering over a critical area in terms of price action, and in this video I want to go ahead and touch on what are some things that you absolutely want to be mindful of in regards to Tesla stock. Now Tesla stock has fallen a little over 30% from its all-time highs at around $488, and I've made several videos talking about Tesla likely to fall down, and in a lot of those videos I was told I was crazy, I was a fool, I was a clown. And I want to go ahead and just provide an update kind of where I see Tesla going next, right? Because now I think things are kind of changing, right? Now, not kind of for the better, but I want to kind of delve into the nuance of where we currently are. Now, one of the things I want to mention, right, in one of the most recent videos, I made several videos about Tesla stock falling down, but in a recent video, which was 5 days ago, I mentioned how there was this massive move coming for Tesla stock, and it was scary. And in fact, we pretty much just saw bearish candles since I've made that video. Now, of course, it's not because I have a crystal ball, but it's because I take a holistic approach in regards to when I participate in the market. I don't just look at the fundamentals, the technicals, the macro. I look at everything and synthesize it all together, right? I don't just look at one data point in silo. And one of the things I mentioned in that recent video 5 days ago was kind of pointing towards the fundamentals, specifically towards the delivery numbers that we're seeing across Europe, right? We see France, Germany, Sweden, Norway, UK, and we're seeing kind of this massive decline in deliveries for Tesla. Now, a lot of speculation is that, hey, this is due to the fact that Elon has gotten a lot more political. He's kind of leaning more towards the right. And I said, okay, wait. There's a little bit of nuance towards this. Yes, that could be one of the contributing factors, but of course we had the refresh of the Model Y, and kind of like what we saw with the Model 3, where when you had the refresh model, you kind of have many people who are waiting to buy the Model 3 say, well, I'll wait on and wait for the newer model. So, it could be a mixture of several things. I'm not denying the fact that, Elon's political affiliations have kind of tainted the perspective or the image of Tesla for a lot of people who are looking to get into electric vehicles. I'm just saying that there's some nuance, right? But I would agree that of course his political views is kind of damaging the brand. Now, Monday, February 10th, I mentioned to those within the Push and Profit private group how I'm going to be entering into a small position for TSLQ, which if you don't know, that's essentially just shorting Tesla, because TSLQ is the inverse leveraged ETF for Tesla. So when Tesla stock goes down, TSLQ goes up and it's leveraged, so it's going to go up more, which is why I don't like to hold these positions too long. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about what I ended up doing with this position. I essentially shorted Tesla, and this was on February 10th. I shared this for those within the Push and Profit private group, so if you want those exclusive trade ideas, make sure to check out the links in the description below. I also have a link for my free weekly market pulse insights, so it's completely free. But looking at TSLQ, which is of course the leverage, it's the 2x leverage Tesla inverse ETF. So if Tesla falls down 1%, this is going to go up 2%, right? That's just how leverage ETFs work. And on February 10th, right, this was February 10th, I didn't buy it at the bottom, right? It's not like I get things at the very bottom and sell them at the top. No, I got in at around somewhere from like $31 and like I think it was like 17 cents more or less. So that was my average position. And this thing just went up crazy. I mean, at its peak, it went up a little under, or a little actually over 20%. But of course, like I just mentioned, I don't buy always at the bottom perfectly. I don't sell always at the top. And I actually exited my position right around over here on the 11th. By the way, I'm actually recording this video at 1:30 a.m. Eastern time. Why am I up this late? No clue, right? But anyways, this was a position that did over 17% in just a day. And again, I didn't catch the complete bottom or the tippity top, right? But, I just mentioned that, look, Tesla has been falling down, and now we have the Fibonacci's, which I could talk on as well. Not a big fan of, using the golden ratios. I like looking at different aspects in terms of trading, but I'll go ahead and touch on, Tesla from a technical perspective as well. But when Tesla stock was around over here, I said, okay, look, I haven't been shorting Tesla, although I've been pretty bearish vocally. I haven't been shorting Tesla, but I said, look, the way Tesla is moving, I'd be foolish not to just take a little swing trade, mini swing trade, right, to short it. And of course, I'll take 17% every single day. Now, of course, I closed that position because now we're in a very pivotal moment for Tesla, and I'll go ahead and touch on why. But before we go there, right, kind of just want to mention something, right? In that previous video, I actually had a comment from the Booster, which shout out to the Booster. He comments on a lot of my videos very often, and I like his insights as well. And I mentioned how I normally do not care when insiders sell, as they can sell for a number of reasons, but it's pretty interesting that a recent SEC filing shows that the CFO, the head of the board of directors, and Kimball Musk are selling, right? Now, Kimball Musk is Elon's brother, right? And so I mentioned, just in the comment section of a video, which is actually this video from 5 days ago, I mentioned that this was kind of suspicious that we're seeing so much selling from the insiders, right? Including Elon Musk's brother, which I think I wrote somewhere here. Kimball is known to have a great, timing with his sales of Tesla stock. So I mentioned that in the comment section down below. And what we see here is Kimball Musk, which I'm surprised that a lot of people don't know Elon has a brother. But Kimball Musk sold $28 million of Tesla stock recently, which is okay, whatever. Like I said, insiders could sell for a number of reasons. Maybe they needed to go ahead and purchase something else or expand or pay for tuition for children, whatever, right? But then it got a little bit more suspicious when we had the CFO and the board chairman, Robin Denholm, I may have butchered her last name, sold large amounts as well, right? So that left me to kind of scratching my head. Well, why are all these insiders selling? Right? And again, this kind of triggered this idea for me to let them know in the Push and Profit private group that, hey, I'm going to be entering in a small position. Now, of course, I don't share buy or sell recommendations. You should always trade or, invest in whatever you see value in. I just kind of share my perspective. And the reason why I shorted into Tesla recently was, the suspicious activity with the sellers, the technicals, but also the fundamentals. And then we had the news that Elon Musk led this group to make a $97.4 billion bid to control for OpenAI. Now, I don't think that Elon Musk is going to eventually actually make this purchase of OpenAI, right? This feud that he has with Sam Altman, which, by the way, he calls Scam Altman. It's a funny feud that they have. If you guys watch it, it's almost like watching a TV drama on Netflix. But, well, I don't think that Elon Musk is going to actually acquire OpenAI. Just a sheer thought that we may have this repeat of what happened when Elon Musk had to sell to buy Twitter, right? Remember, he had to sell a tremendous amount of Tesla stock to fund the acquisition of Twitter, and that caused Tesla stock to collapse. And so this alone was kind of just almost like flashback panic attacks to what happened back at the acquisition of Twitter. And so that was pretty crazy too, right? And then on top of that, we got bad news for Tesla because their rival, BYD in China, actually came out with free smart driving tech. Right now, of course, they have different tiers, but they're kind of entering into this space of the autonomous driving vehicles, right? You have Waymo, you have Tesla, and you have a few others, right? And now we have Tesla's biggest competitor now entering into the race as well. And I know a lot of people like to say, whenever I point out that around 80% of Tesla's revenues currently come from their vehicles, there's always a crowd that says, well, Justin, you have it all wrong. Tesla's going to make so much money off FSD. It's the software. But now we have more competition entering, and they may end up doing it better. So that's something that's pretty concerning. But going into Tesla from a technical perspective, because of course, right, I don't just like to look at things from a fundamental perspective. I like to look at things from a holistic perspective. And what we see here, right, and actually, let me take out the Fibonacci's. I think that sometimes can clutter things. I hate it when if a chart is cluttered, right? Technical analysis has its time and place. But one of the things I like to look at is the volume profile. And one of the reasons why I said Tesla stock was going to be selling quickly and downwards was because we were in this volume pocket. I mean, just watch that video from 5 days ago. I literally said it 5 days ago. Just click, just type in this title over here. Make sure it's the one from 5 days ago. And I said, look, when we're in this pocket of volume, if there's selling pressure, that's likely to have the selling pressure amplify, because what this shows us over here is how much activity, right? Volume. Just think of volume as activity from market participants between the buyers and the sellers. When there's a lot, well, that means that there's kind of this like war between this tug of war with the buyers and sellers. Buyers are saying, look, this is the time to buy. Sellers are saying, this is the time to sell. And when you have both participating, well, that's when you have consolidation. But when you have a lack of, both of the participants, the buyers and sellers participating in low volume for these price areas, well, that could push the order books up or down depending on who has control. And so with the downward trend, right, when we're looking at Tesla, right, you have to understand, for example, Charles Dow in the Dow theory said there's three main trends, right? You have the primary trend, the secondary trend, and then the mini trend, right? And I think it's like the mini trend. It might be called the small trend. I gotta brush up on that, right? But in essence, the mini trend or the small trend is the intraday, which I don't like to focus on day trading. I'm not a big fan of that. Occasionally I will do a day trade, but those people who often focus on day trading only tend to lose in the long run. And so I like to focus on the bigger swings. And so the main, like if we zoom out, Tesla, the primary trend is upwards, but currently the secondary trend is downwards, right? And so with the secondary trend that was falling downwards with this pocket of volume over here, well, that just means that we were likely to see Tesla stock fall down very quickly. Now, here we are now where we're no longer in a pocket of volume, but it's a very pivotal moment because we have a lot of volume. So this is going to act as support and we're going to see consolidation, much like what we saw around these areas over here. And so if Tesla falls down and breaks below this area of where there's kind of this shelf of volume, then we enter into a bigger pocket. And that's where things could get super scary for Tesla. Now, are we going to fall down there? Who knows, right? Maybe the buyers may end up actually stepping in and pushing us back into this volume pocket and actually back up very quickly around over here at $379. So we're kind of going to want to monitor Tesla at this current point because, of course, this is a pivotal moment. We break below here, well, then we're likely to continue falling down if the sellers continue taking action, putting pressure on the stock. Now, if the buyers start putting pressure and we kind of finally move up out of this area where there's a lot of volume relative to price and we go up here to this pocket of volume, well, we could quickly get met back with this resistance over here. So, again, I don't have a crystal ball. All I do is just like kind of look at different data points, right? Fundamental, technical, macro data points, news, headlines, and kind of just think of what's currently going on and then trade and invest based on what the price action is doing afterwards, right? I'm not trying to make a guess, I'm going to short Tesla now because, again, we're at this area where there's a lot of volume relative to price. So I don't want to play guessing games. I did it here when there was little volume relative to price, and we know that the move is downwards. But once we enter here, well, that's when you want to take a pause, a breather, and you want to say, well, hold on, okay, wait a minute. What's going to happen next? Let's be patient, right? You don't have to participate in the market every single day just to win. For example, I'm already up over 20% year to date for 2025. I think the stock market, let's look at SPY if we could find the beginning of the year. Let's see, if we map it out from the beginning of the year, somewhere around over here, let's see, what is the first day? First day is one of these days. So we'll give it the benefit of the doubt and we'll say it's right over here. Then the stock market's only up 2%. I'm up over 20% year to date, and that's not because I traded a whole bunch of trades. One of the major trades that I shared within the Push and Profit private group was HIMS, which, by the way, I'm already out of that position. And then you have another trade, which I already got out of, which was TSLQ, which was just a short, swing trade, right? Over 17%. You don't have to trade the market in and out like what a lot of day traders will have you believe. You just have to find opportunity when it presents itself and go ahead and take a, risk or look for asymmetrical trades, right? Trades where the wedge is in your favor and things are likely to go your way. And also make sure that you set up risk management, because as the position was going up, what did I do? I set up a trailing stop loss so that if it fell down, then it would lock in my profits. And that's why I didn't get to sell at the tippity top over here. I sold right over here. because again, we see as it was pushing up, it fell down, it triggered my stop loss, so it, closed the position. But I'm fine with not selling at the top, right? Because again, I'm just managing my risk. But just wanted to share a quick video here. Well, not really quick. I guess we're 15 minutes in. Hopefully you guys found some value in today's video. Again, make sure to check out the links in the description below. One of the links is join the the Push a Profit private group, and also I have the free weekly market post insight. I mean, it's free, so why not take advantage of that? And with that said, I'll see you guys on this next video right over here. Take care, guys.